Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Lineage Break, a Grand Archive TCG podcast. I am your host, Cam. With me, as always, is the glue, Steve.
Hi, Cam.
Hi, Steve.
How's it going, Cam?
Welcome back.
Hey, you guys aren't sick anymore?
Yeah.
Right? You're not contagious and carrying the plague?
Right.
Yeah.
With us, as not always, is the slime sovereign, Trent. Hi, Trent.
Ugh.
Hello.
Ugh.
He's gonna slime me.
It's all right.
I don't know if I'd want to go by slime sovereign.
He's done it.
I know.
It's my name on Discord,
I saw, but that's
He's just so excited,
it's
you
a
know.
tough one.
Yeah.
He's gonna take
Why?
anything
King
and get.
Slime.
Yeah, what's wrong? You got a slime problem?
What, you're just fucking Nickelodeon.
Yeah, aren't you a '90s kid? Like,
I
you
am.
growing up getting gacked, dude. Like,
Yeah, dude. Whatever.
yeah.
Just saying, it's weird.
You saying when you were a 10-year-old boy, you're not looking to get slimed on Nickelodeon?
No, I want to do the sliming.
Well, now Trent does the sliming.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Okay, we are back. Welcome back to the show. We have a lot to talk about. We've been gone for a couple of weeks. I got the evil COVID. Trent was sick. We're getting it out of the way. We were saying before we started the show that Trent and I are now safe and healthy, and Steve is going to be riddled with sickness at Nationals next week.
I
Just
hope not.
Bedridden.
Honestly,
he's going to go to sleep in round 2 again.
Honestly, like, can we not put this on me? I was literally thinking, I'm like, Nationals is the first large event
Where
I'm
you'll
gonna-
play.
where I can play all 8 rounds and not die.
You could have played all 8 rounds of the first one.
There was no way.
There
was no way.
You could not.
You and I did it. Like, what's
Yeah,
wrong
that's
with
true.
him? You know?
That's true.
Dude,
That's all I'm
I
saying.
was in rough shape.
Yeah.
I had to try really hard not to throw up. But let's not talk about
You had the
that.
best time of all of us.
I
I mean, I
out
did
of them, so,
sleep. That was
yeah,
great.
Sleeping's great.
I don't even remember if you went to the last restaurant with us.
Yeah, I was.
He was there.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
yeah,
He was
but
there
I-
at the Twin Peaks.
I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
But I
Yeah,
also, I think, continued to drink while I was there.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Not
So, we have some,
That's
some
not gonna
stuff to talk
happen.
about. We have brought Trent on the show. Hi, Trent.
Hello.
Because he is the only one of us that actually went to the event that we were talking about last time we were on the show. Hey, Trent, how'd your Ascent Ontario go?
I mean, it was awesome. Like every Ascent, it's super fun. Great meeting everybody, and yeah, I had an absolute blast.
How did it compare to Houston?
That's a good question. So I feel like it was bigger. It felt more like a much larger, more produced, like well-produced event. The all in all, I think like everything was organized. Oh my God, they had room at all the tables for your elbows. You weren't like sitting like crammed, which is really nice.
That's great.
Props for that. That
Yeah,
is
that's
really that was
awesome.
very nice. The stream setup was super cool. Like casters and everything. It was an absolute blast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get to play in the PvE thing? Did you do that?
I did.
Tell me about it.
All right, so I played against Tristan. It was me, Leo, Remetic, and one other person. And we played against Tristan, and they did like 4 different sweeps in one turn. So like
Sick.
our boards were just totally cleared. But like Song of Frost is really good against them.
Sure.
Terraforming's really great against them. So like we just time walked them 5 times with Terraformings.
Right.
It
Because
was-
everybody had a Terraframer.
Yeah.
So stupid.
It was
yeah.
super cool. I think by the end of it, you get to see what your deck actually does, even though I didn't because my deck is very creature heavy and
Sure.
it just got swept away.
Yeah.
But you get to see what your deck actually does, which is super cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, who was running that? Because like it wasn't an official thing.
No, I think Iroi ran the one that I played, but
I see.
I'm not sure who they were
I
representing.
want to get
for-
that rule set. You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Well, me too. I guess there's a couple of decks too. There's a
Oh, yeah?
Trisket deck, there's a Crawl deck, and there's one other one, and I don't know if it's Merlin or not.
Trisket, not Tristan.
Trisket, yeah,
Okay, I
yeah,
see.
yeah. Did
Yeah.
I make a mistake
Yeah,
earlier?
yeah,
Probably.
I think so.
All right.
Yeah, Trisket.
I'm too excited
Angel
about the new
Girl.
card.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, we'll get there. We won't, dwell on your bad beats at the tournament. What'd you play this last weekend? The event 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
That one.
I played Merlin, Fire Hybrid Merlin.
Very
cringe.
Yeah, it's,
I'm cringing over here.
Hey, I agree.
one of 49.
Let me
Yeah.
cast
Oh, yeah.
Fireball for a game. Real interesting gameplay.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, but it's it's consistent.
Yeah.
Listen, we won't be biased. It's unfair of us to judge you. We'll let the internet judge you.
I played Sylvie in the side.
Right.
event. I'm
The
going to say
saving
that till the
grace
day I die.
is that Trent did play Sylvie in the side event.
Yep.
We can dwell on that one. How'd that one go?
I went 1-4.
That one guy though, in shambles.
Oh yeah,
deleted.
Surely.
What did you beat?
Fire Diana.
Oh, I would quit the game.
Well, no, it's crazy. The deck lines up really well against it because they do heavy single targeted attacks. You just go, I have these interceptors, and I just flood the board with 1 million of them.
And you said they like cast a demon same, and you were like, okay, I'll Song of Frost
Song
you,
of
and
Frost?
just like flip the table and go home.
It was super tough.
Yeah.
But the opponent's a really nice guy.
Were they Umbra?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like the turbo fire deck.
Yeah.
So but Carter couldn't do anything.
Carter wiped my board, but I just flood the board again afterwards because I'm playing off the top of the library.
Yeah, 0 mana 1/2s for days.
Yeah.
So like whatever. Gain your 5 life.
1/3s, right?
So we also had a lot of very important, I guess, important is in the eyes of the beholder, but announcements at Ascent Ontario as they do normally.
Yeah.
It was pretty big this time. I think a lot bigger than the like pool of announcements that we got for Auckland.
Yeah.
Auckland,
Yeah.
we basically just got like the level 2 Lineage break champs. Obviously Houston was really big, but I think this is the most information that we've gotten at an event, which is pretty crazy. So we can talk about that a little bit. We saw the Worlds promos. I don't know if we had seen those already.
I don't think so.
So Worlds.
I feel like we saw the Beseech.
Yeah, maybe.
I think we saw the Beseeches because I remember going, ooh, Parsonet, and then, but I don't know.
Well, if you haven't seen them, every Worlds participant that qualifies for the World Championship is going to get a play set of these stamped Beseech the Winds, which are gorgeous and going to be worth way too much money. So don't even think about it if you're, not qualified for Worlds. We also got the reaffirmation of the store championship and regional promos, but they also announced that there's going to be a participation promo for store championships, which is really cool. It is a gold stamp version of the new Stalwart Shieldmate art from the Tony starter deck, which is super sick because that art is way better than the first one.
I agree. There are some people that don't.
I'm one of those people. But I do think that the gold stamp is super cool.
The only reason I wasn't playing the new ones is because I have the old ones in foil. So now I'll have these in foil because they're foil.
He also
gold
That's
stamp.
true.
He also didn't buy a Tony starter deck.
Oh, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh, I just remember when the
I
whole
got
thing.
all of it.
I just remember the whole time. You're just like, here's all my Ari Sana stuff. I'm like, where's the Tony and Diana? And you're like,
I had to buy them eventually to build decks to test the
So
nationals.
the Stalwart Shieldmates only come in the starter deck for Tony?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean
I
they're part of
think.
the
I don't think they're
Sapphire
in the-
packs?
Well, they're gonna be foil here, so I wouldn't assume so.
yeah, no. When Silidar was up there, he said, this is the only way to get this card in full.
Sure.
Oh, that's so sick. I love that.
So show up to your store championships, which is
Yeah.
great. Support your LGS. We also got another look at the regionals promo, which is Orb of Hubris for the regional top cut promo. As well as Sapphire packs. They talked a little bit more about those. Are still sort of like nebulous and without firm details, but the firm details that we do have,
Is they're only at
they're
regionals.
only at regional events. They're not going to be at Ascents. They're not going to be at Nationals, TM. I don't know if they're going to be at the Day 2 regional at Nationals. That's
Well, that
unclear
is
to
a
me.
regional, so I would assume so.
well,
Who knows? It might be too early.
I would assume that they would be at the Yeti regional as well. That's this weekend, but they are not.
Yeah, they're not.
So I don't know. Strange, but I'm gonna get them. So
Yeah.
very exciting. They're
Yeah,
all
that,
the starter deck
That
foils.
regional is April 20th, Marlboro, Mass. Webway Games.
It's true.
Just if anyone is in the area and wants to come and get a Sapphire pack.
Yeah, if you guys haven't, you can go on Omnidex and you can see all of the Premier play. There's a tab for it. It'll give you all the Premier events, regionals, Ascents, whatever. Like we mentioned, the Yeti online regional is this weekend, so if you guys have your Saturday off, make sure to go support Andy and the crew over at Yeti. But yeah, so they had our list of regionals, which we won't dwell on, our list of regionals for Oceania, and then very exciting, our first being the operative word, which is insane. Our first 4 Ascents for the year. They said there's going to be more announced, which is insane that we're having 4 in, the year to begin with, let alone maybe more.
Yeah.
So on June 8th, the boys, not us, are going to Taipei for Ascent Taipei on June 8th. We won't be there. I'm sorry. That's a little bit of an expensive flight. In August, very exciting, there's going to be an Ascent in the quote-unquote Midwest USA, which we surely will all be there. Unclear how close that is. Hopefully it's a little bit more mid than it is west, but we'll see. Hopefully the event is not mid, but the location is mid west.
Hey, I'm saying if it's in Bloomington,
where is that?
Where is Bloomington?
Minnesota?
Yeah, Bloomington, Minnesota. I'll treat you guys to a real good time because I know a lot of the places there because I spent a month there.
Oh, all right, sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of really sick restaurants there.
Well, assuming
But that's also been TM. That was 10 years ago, so who knows?
If I was a betting man, I would assume that they have some sort of communication with TCG, and maybe they're helping out in that regard. But that might be wishful thinking. But I assume it'll probably be in that area.
That's my guess too.
Yeah. So not maybe drivable. We'll see if we're feeling cursed and don't want to take a flight. God knows the flights are killing me. So
yeah, there's very
it's too many of them.
Yeah, I'm probably done with flying after Vegas.
Worlds is like I haven't paid for it yet, and it's like
I haven't either. There's I have a couple other things that I have to do before I can even think about that. But
well, neither of you is going to have to pay for your ticket because you're going to be qualified for Worlds.
Fair,
and they fly you out. Next on our schedule is Ascent Singapore in September. We will not be there. That's a little far for us, but congratulations to the Oceania community for getting Taipei. Singapore is great. Glad to see them supporting the game over there. EU when I'm sure Clem's somewhere shaking her fists. Last but certainly not least is Ascent Toronto. In glorious
it's
Canada.
Toronto,
California.
Toronto, Texas.
No, Toronto, California will be in October, and that one we can literally drive to, which is so great. It's like a 6-hour drive. We will be there 1,000%. I got to get my passport sorted out.
I also need my passport again.
Sooner rather than later. I recommend it.
It's great that we save the money on the flight because we get to drive, but I have to buy a $300 passport or whatever.
I think
they're like $150 unless you expedite them.
Yeah,
but don't you have to?
Yeah, well,
forever.
So this was like forever ago. Like we're talking 2013 when I expedited mine. It still took 2 months, and it came the day before I went to Mexico.
Oh my god,
that's what I'm saying. So like, you still have to expedite it.
I think you can get them same day, right? Like you can go to the passport office.
Day. No way.
So first things you have to do is you can say, hey, I have this trip coming up, and it's planned for these dates, and like then if you then pay to expedite it, they'll try and get it to you by that time,
and they won't.
Right? Yeah. They'll surely fail.
They'll do their best.
But
they'll do someone's best.
But I think it's like $150 or it's like $130 for the passport or $160 for the passport and the passport card.
Sure.
And then I recommend the card because I think you can just use that to get over the border to
Where do
Canada.
I do that? I go to the post office.
So go to travel.gov and then find it on there and then fill out all the forms ahead of time because there was somebody at the post office filling out the forms.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a million forms.
They had like an interview that was already happening, and then like they had people filling out the forms right then and there.
I hate the fact that we have to go to the post office for this.
I think that's great.
Whoa, what's
No,
wrong with
I
the
hate the post
It's right down the
office.
street.
Yeah.
I hate the post office.
Yeah,
Every time I go in there, everyone's rude to me.
I love the post
Dude.
office. All my favorite cards come through the mail.
It's a hard job working at the post office. I feel for those people.
I don't. I don't.
You gotta have some empathy
I have,
there, Steven.
I don't have empathy.
They call
because
him No Empathy Steven.
I have to do. I
that's his
have
name.
to do a lot of shipping,
Uh-huh.
and they just don't understand.
Well, stop being
the
such a
plight.
dickhead. I don't
I'm
know
not.
what to
I
tell
go
you.
in there and go, I have to ship this package, and they're like, well, maybe should pre-printed all this stuff out. I'm like,
Yeah.
or you can just do your job and scan it.
You should come to the Marlboro post office.
I do.
They're very nice to me.
They're not to me. Maybe it's because I'm in there a lot. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think it's a Steve problem. Moving on. Hey, we'll see you guys in Toronto.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yeah.
you guys in Minnesota if that's
Yeah.
where it is. We also got some information about MRC, which is great. MRC is coming way sooner than I don't know. I
Well,
I
it's
guess
not sooner, right? 'Cause,
Right.
Like we knew about it.
I just there's so much going on, which is nice.
Right.
That it feels like there's so many things that are happening soon, and then once all those things are over, MRC is out,
Yeah.
which is cool. That,
Yeah, yeah.
like we have plenty of stuff to keep ourselves occupied. So MRC First Edition is releasing May 17th, 2024. It is a staggering 191 cards,
Which
is
is
so
awesome.
good.
That's so nice.
So awesome. That means that when you buy it, you're actually getting your values worth.
Yeah, you don't get just the whole set in like one
Box.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, are we assuming that they're like? So I guess this is supposed to be a supplemental set, right? It's
Correct.
a supplemental
Yeah.
set to ALC, but
Correct.
it's 200 cards. ALC was what, 300 cards?
Yeah, I think
It's
they,
like almost a full set.
I think they probably are supporting a bunch of the older stuff too. I mean, they
Well,
mentioned
right.
it as
He,
much.
he, I believe it was said that it's every class is getting support.
Yeah. This
But I would
class-
assume that it's mostly going to be like if we're talking advanced elements too, it's probably just the 3, right?
Right,
Yeah.
you are, Stephen. It says in the description of MRC that it will support all 7 classes, but will be mostly focused on enhancing the archetypes in Alchemical Revolution and in the Recollection decks, which
Ooh.
were also announced at the event.
I think these are very cool.
So the Recollection decks are a set of pre-constructed standard decks that are meant to support archetypes that could use some help.
So, would you say these are like structure deck pluses?
Yeah, I don't think that the starter decks are aimed at
Competitive play.
playing the game at any sort of real capacity. It's like it's an entry point, and they're a great entry point, but nobody's going to be like, yeah, just buy the starter deck. It'll be fine. I guess like the Lorraine starter was okay, but so shout out to Limelight and his creation of starter deck Lorraine. But the Recollection is going to be Sylvie Recollection. It's the
Yeah.
first one.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So
That's really why we brought you on the show.
yeah,
just to,
yeah.
just to,
So-
to smile and giggle
Yeah.
about.
So,
I'm excited. It's
yeah.
gonna be so
back
nice.
to his name,
Yeah.
Slime Sovereign.
right.
This new Sylvie is Terra, and Sylvie the Slime Sovereign.
Yeah, how do you feel really, Trent? Like I know you're
Well,
excited
I-
for new Sylvie, but
I'm excited for new Sylvie.
In our
but
spoiler video,
we were wrong.
I said 2026 that Sylvie or Tamer would be good and Sylvie would never be good. But we don't know the text on this Sylvie.
That's true. That's true.
I might be wrong, and it would track that another member of Lineage Break is wrong about something.
How I really feel, I love the fact that Sylvie gets some support. It's going to invalidate my CSR and my CUR, unfortunately, which is kind of tough.
That is kind of tough.
But hopefully the other cards that support this class or this particular play style are usable in the other archetype
Yeah,
things as well.
I
think
have
they
to
will
think
be.
so.
I would
yeah.
assume
Well,
so.
we also have to understand that this also comes as a CSR. So,
That's true. Oh, I have to get the CSR
so
here
you need
too,
this
yeah.
one too.
Oh, for sure.
So don't worry about being invalidated on the other two, because you still need more.
I have like 20 Sylvie CSRs.
Yeah, so included with these decks is exclusive Dragon Shield sleeves that match the art of
Which
the
is
new
awesome.
champion. So you'll be able to get Sylvie Slime Sovereign sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And also 3 booster packs of MRC, which are just regular booster packs of MRC, but the CSR slot has been replaced with the Recollection CSRs but you get 3 of them, and this is the only place to get them. So
Yeah.
I think those CSRs are going to be,
Pricey.
woo,
Bucks.
big money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna buy my the next one we're talking about, and it'll just be in there.
Yeah,
sure.
Sure. I mean, I'm gonna get the 1 box and it'll just be there.
Yeah, I've never opened one out of a starter deck, so
Me neither.
Yeah, none of us have. Thanks,
So,
Steve.
it'll be
cool.
me.
Yeah,
it'll be me.
I've never been to the moon either. I get it. Whatever. Our second recollection deck is
Is it time to do the high five?
level 3 Umbra Tristan. Woo!
You missed that.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
That was better.
Yeah,
We were right. We were right about something.
Finally, Lineage Break doesn't fail at predicting something.
Somebody find that clip. That was like months ago.
Yeah,
It was
it
when,
was
when we were talking about Vanish from Sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when we were going over the set.
She's got a new outfit.
She got a new outfit. There's no way it can't be.
Right.
And we were right.
So yeah,
There's no way it couldn't be.
maybe, just maybe
Looking at
in MRC.
a Tristan level 3. No
That'd be
way
sick.
it couldn't be.
Tristan level 3. Tristan Shadow Dancer is also getting a recollection deck, and
Well, what's
We're
really
very
cool,
excited.
she's Umbra too.
Yeah,
That's
she's-
sweet.
I think this is the first time we have a straight, like non-Merlin with a dual typing, different champion in the same advanced element,
yeah,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that.
yeah. I'm curious how they'll explore it. I think something that Diana does a lot in ALC is it's all very weapon focused, and she has a lot of curses and stuff that are focused around Diana. But there is a lot of ally support in Umbra, none of which, or at least most of which, is not locked behind the class wall. Like whatever the ball lightning is the only one I can
Shade
think of.
Curse Hunter.
Yeah, that has range, so like probably doesn't fit in your non-ranger deck. But I assume Tristan will probably be like ally based and do something with the sort of like Carter Relentless Hex Chaser synergies that are about creature death and recursion, which is super cool.
Yeah,
and she's hot, so that's cool.
If we get not only best girl and she's a reanimator deck,
Oh,
Yeah,
it's,
dude.
just like, it's over for every other card in the game.
Everybody,
Every other champion in the game is done. Like I will. A lot of things that people don't know about me is purple is my favorite color, and I'm real tough not playing Umbra.
But
But
you're real tough, all right.
yeah. But at the end of the day, if it is Reanimator, woo,
Yeah, we'll see.
it's literally everything. Like it's all the good things.
yeah.
I don't know what sort of spot you put her in, other than something like that. I mean, that's sort
Right.
of Tristan's flavor already, right? She has that like death touch sort of ability on her level 2. So I assume they're moving with that.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean she's like creating shadow clones in the art.
Yeah, one of them is like a robot.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
see that?
Like looking
Yeah.
at the elbow.
Right.
I think it's interesting because maybe it'll be something like some ninjutsu thing, like replace your character.
Don't
into
say
the
keywords
shadow.
that are gonna make
Oh,
me
sorry. Yeah,
excited.
no,
Trent.
yeah. All right.
God
All right.
damn! Reanimator and ninjutsu. Woo!
No more of that.
All right. My bad. He's gonna get too excited.
I'm already too excited.
Ben's
Trent.
carking his pants over there. Something I wanted to mention quickly as well, which I don't know if you guys saw in the product sheet for MRC, but so they are keeping the same distribution that they did for ALC,
Yeah.
which is good. 6 boxes to a case, 1 CSR in every 15 boxes. Great. Did you guys notice that I believe there are 16 CSRs in MRC, and there was 1 CUR in MRC, which is a thing that they haven't used that word since Alpha
DOA
first
first,
ed.
yeah.
Which is a little interesting. I don't know how they're doing that. Are we assuming it's a serialized card? We're getting a serialized 1 CUR because it's a single print run, so like they can serialize a card.
If it is serialized, does that mean we're getting another champion?
I think it's Vanitas 3.
In the text it showed like all the other champions like fighting Vanitas. So
Right.
clearly,
Well, yeah. he's
again, we
clearly
were
the
right
villain.
again.
Yeah,
We
we're
were-
always right. Yeah.
he's the villain.
We're right about everything.
And that would be really cool.
That'd
if
be cool.
It is Vanitas 3.
Yeah, CUR Vanitas 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes that deck playable.
I hope so. I mean, like,
I love his Vanitas's art. Like is sick.
thank you, Honshu.
Yeah.
It is so good. Like both of them.
Yeah, I think a lot of the archetypes in ALC are sort of lacking, and I assume it's because they were designed in tandem with MRC. So Cleric as a whole feels pretty incomplete. Even Guardian feels pretty incomplete.
I feel like of all of it though, Guardian feels the most playable though.
I think that the Diana feels the most like her own deck, and that her strategy is revolved around the Ranger strategy, where most Guardian decks to me feel like you're just playing piles of good allies, not leaning into the Tony thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see, like all of the Tenoris decks that are performing are like playing 3 Neos cards and the level 3 that makes free advantage, but like nobody's leaning into the Neos thing, which is supposed to be his identity, right? It's the same thing with Cleric. People are trying to lean into Astra, but it's dog shit unplayable. So Diana's the only one that I've seen have any success, like being an Umbra deck,
This is Carter's nuts.
Yeah, Carter is true. Buy your Carters now. I'm actually really worried about card prices because with MRC so close now, it's like 10 weeks away as of the time that we're recording this, means that it's being sent to print now. I assume as we speak they're printing MRC, which means when do they have time to print ALC Alter? Probably not until MRC launches, right? So like we're looking at Alter probably June, July, which means it's going to be really hard to get some of these cards. Carter's a $45 card or whatever, a better outcome than FTC for sure. I'd rather the cards be expensive and hard to get because it's good for the game, but it's hard to onboard people surely when they're like, oh, Diana's so cool, how much money will it cost me? And be like $500. And you're like, oh, okay.
Well, even like Incarnate Majesty, right? Like that card's still worth $25, but only because of the redemption thing.
Right.
So
but like when we needed them, they were $5.
They were $5,
right?
yeah.
Like, yeah.
And they're only $25 because of the redemption.
That's true.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's true.
Yeah, they sort of did the Uno reverse card. But we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. Other than that, we have the ban list to talk about.
Yeah.
Which I think we won't take too much time because I think it's pretty cut and dry. So the ban list came out last Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, it was right before we were supposed to record last week. They have moved a couple of things. They've moved Crystal of Empowerment from Category 2 to Category 3, so Crystal of Empowerment is now banned in Standard play. And they have added Scepter of Lumina and Erupting Rhapsody to Category 1 on the watch list, as it were.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys feel?
Scepter of Lumina is definitely one of the things that when I clicked the link and I was looking through it, I was like, Scepter of Lumina. It just brought a giggle to me because this is our first Proxius Vault card that is now a contender to be banned and removed from the game, which I think is very funny. But I mean, it's deserved, right? Because
that card is really strong.
It took water from being almost unplayable to being the best element in the game.
Yeah, I mean, hats off, right, to the dev team. They did it. Like, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
You want the Proxies Vault card to be so impactful that it needs to be considered being removed.
Right.
And it's a perfect candidate to be removed as well. Nobody feels bad when Scepter gets banned.
Right.
They got it either from their printer or for free from an event. I think the only thing that I would be worrisome of is I hope that if it does creep up the category list, it is before the 1-year expiry date.
Yeah.
Where you need the physical card, because the worst thing that can happen is we wait until after that 1 year, then people do actually have to buy it on the secondary market, and then it gets banned. Then that feels really bad. But I think the logic that they put out there, where Scepter is performing very well and Water is performing very well, but it is problematic in the future, where if everything is created equal, it creates an imbalance, right? There is no wind card, there is no fire card of that same level as Scepter. So I would be pretty shocked. I think it'll probably survive MRC. I would be pretty shocked if it's around for the next full booster set. I think once we get another full booster set, Water will probably have enough natural support to not need Scepter. So I think it's very wise to be looking at it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that assessment. I think that right now, Scepter of Lumina fills a gap that is, it needs to be there. But later on, hopefully, they can print cards that are really helpful to the color, to the element in general.
Right.
So,
how do we feel about Erupting Rhapsody?
I think Erupting Rhapsody is one of those cards that should have been on the list already.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like one of those cards since the dawn of us playing this game that it's been there and has been, they had to move up cards out of FTC into Alter to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely deserves to be on the watch list, at least for the time being.
why is it a skill?
Right.
That's so
Why
tough.
doesn't it target?
Yeah, that's so
Trent,
tough, dude. There's so many
there's
things
so-
about it. It's
there's-
like,
Why is
Yeah.
it a non-targeting skill?
There's so many issues with the card, and it's so strong. It's so easy to turn on. It was 3 extra mana on top of casting the card.
well, and the way that it
so-
works in tandem with all the other plus level goofiness is
Right. And nowadays with how much regalia removal that there are, it's before you had spurn, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, I dealt with the spurn. I don't have to worry about it anymore. But now it's you have a cultic, acolyte, you have spurn. There's so fracturized. There's so
Disintegrate.
Dusklight Communion.
disintegrate.
Yeah.
Dust-like community. There's so many ways to deal with it now, where it's we need more graveyard hate, or that needs to creep up the list.
I think it's great when this happens, and I feel not at all the same. I think it's reasonable that they're looking at it. It is an absurdly powerful card. However, I think with time, Erupting has gotten worse, and with time, we will get more cards that interact with it not directly but incidentally. I think about cards like Scavenging Raccoon, and most recently making a big splash is Sea Sprite Diver, who is just incidentally a very strong card against Erupting. Mm-hmm. She's a 2/3 body for 3, which is on rate for what you want, and she also deals with your opponent's graveyard. Yeah, for 4, assumingly in this matchup she's for 3, right? So I get that they're looking at it, but I hope it doesn't move. I think if Erupting is moving up the category list, it's a problem for a different reason. Erupting is not the problem. Printing cards that deal with graveyards is the problem. Especially, we now have cards like Relentless Hex Chaser, which have graveyard synergies.
Yep.
We've always had Mistbound Cutthroat, even though she's terrible. So as the game gets older, I'm sure we'll get more graveyard synergies, which means you need more cards to interact with that, and as long as we're doing that, I think Erupting is pretty safe. I'm a big fan of shout outs to Matt G for winning the event. He was one of very, very few Erupting players at that event.
Yep.
And it's the sort of thing where these, this Dark Horse deck, if you're not prepared for it, will, sort of just sweep the tournament, and I really like that being available.
oh yeah, I got destroyed on round 5 by him.
Right. Yeah, it's I didn't think anyone would be playing Erupting at this tournament, and then he wins the tournament. I think it's really cool.
Yep.
But it is very powerful. I understand why they're looking at it. But last but not least, last but maybe least, Crystal of Empowerment has been moved to Category 3 and is effectually banned. How do we feel this affects our format?
I don't know how it affects the format, but all I have to say is about time. God damn. So many times where you're just I think I have another turn, and then they go, oh, I grab Crystal. You don't have another turn.
Crystal, it adds 4 damage to double fireball.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's
4
so
damage,
brutal.
double fireball, infinite damage if you have Banner Knights in play and you're level 1. You're just oh, Crystal pop it. I'm level 4 now. Just swing out with 3 Banner Knights that all +2.
Yeah. No, I think it's.
I think Crystal of Empowerment was unhealthy for the game.
I agree.
And the more and more cards that we got printed.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I agree
Rye,
with that. I was about to make that same point.
unfortunately, Rye is dying for the sins of all of the better decks.
Yeah.
But
Nobody's talking about poor Ari, also dying for the sins of every
nobody
other
talks
deck.
about poor Merlin.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a pretty lukewarm opinion on Crystal. Card is broken. I don't think it ever should have been printed. So I'm happy to see it banned. It is definitely paramount to that toxic for the game going forward. They always have to build new cards around it, so it's better to just get rid of it. As far as its impact on the meta, I think it's virtually nil. We'll see next week if that's true or not. But the only thing that I really see taking a nosedive with the Crystal ban is Warrior Tempo Banner Knight decks, because they don't get free access to their Banner Knight without having to spend the resources to go to level 2, which they usually don't want to do. I don't think that Merlin really cares at all about Crystal being removed from her deck. So many games that I've either played or played against Merlin, it doesn't matter. She doesn't materialize that card. If she's materializing Crystal, it's to get a faster Incarnate Majesty, and if that's happening, you've probably lost that game anyway. So I don't think it's going to affect the wider meta very much. I think that the ally decks were probably better as either Tony or Diana decks anyways. So now I think that is definitively the case. I think Merlin is virtually unchanged. I'm curious if the impact on the mentality of the community is the same, because this is obviously has been most prevalent in the Merlin deck. She is the one that plays it the most often, and so I wonder if the mentality of the community at large will be like, Merlin got nerfed, I'm not going to play Merlin at Nationals, even though it's just categorically untrue.
I'm probably playing Merlin at Nationals. I don't even care.
I think that deck is still super busted.
Yes.
So I don't think they've changed the format too much. I don't know that the format needed to be changed. It felt pretty healthy. At Ontario, the only problem that I had is that the entire top 8 was fire decks, because fire is too strong.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you just put every draw card in the game into fire. It's going to be that way.
That is 100%
Yeah, they should
correct.
be, if they're creeping any card up the category list, it should be Creative Shock.
Totally
That
agree
card
with
is
that. 100%.
totally not okay.
You know what's interesting is actually how many cards are banned right now? 3?
3 cards, yeah.
We're already on set 3, and we're moving into set 4. It's kind of actually really nice that they've only banned 3 cards so far.
Yeah.
I actually think that it gives good credence to how healthy the actual meta is right now.
It's such a strange game, unlike any that I've ever played before, where the changes to the format are so frequent, but not in a way that feels bad. Constant BNRs have always felt really bad in other games. I think maybe it's the accessibility, where most cards in the game are accessible, so it doesn't really feel so bad. But
yeah, I think the biggest thing is they're not Carter's a $45 card, right?
Right.
If they were we're gonna ban Carter, that's a feels bad moment for a lot of people.
right.
But he's not so overpowered, and the cards that tend to be overpowered are relatively cheap.
It's nice that you see it coming, though, right?
For sure.
They said, I think you mentioned that Syl had said to you at Ontario that they weren't in any interest of banning cards that weren't already on the watch list.
Yeah.
So they're not, at least currently, not planning to blindside you with next week your Carter's banned. To say goodbye to $150.
Yeah.
Right.
At least I remember seeing Caben from True Champion 2 ban lists ago selling it was 6 ornament crystal empowerments,
too,
because he was I'm either gonna eat shit or I'm gonna make the best decision of my life,
Yep.
So I think it's cool that we get to see it coming. So get rid of all of your CPR Creative Shocks now, because that card should get out of our
I'm actually
format.
about to turn in my FTC set to get
That's true.
New...
Well, you see, they're thinking bigger, Trent. They have to wait until they stop doing FTC redemptions.
Yeah.
Then they can ban Creative Shock.
That's fair.
They don't want to make you, turn in your FTC set for an illegal card. They got to wait until they're done completely, and then the day after they're BNR update.
And then a couple months they're hey, FTC reprint with all the cards that we turned in.
Right. Yeah.
They just repack them and sell them again.
Um,
Oh god.
but we have yet another BNR announcement next week.
Yeah.
So it's great to see such
I
frequent looks at the format.
Yeah,
Post Nats, right? It's
Correct.
Post Nats, yeah.
I think it's super healthy that they are, after each event, looking at the event and
Right.
going, okay, this
How's it feel?
right.
Yeah.
What is happening in the decks and stuff? What is an issue in the game, and then they fix it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's so nice because the devs are so close to the game. They go to these events.
Right.
They, Sil's walking around looking at games while
Right.
people are playing and oh, that's cool, or oh, what is going on over here?
Right.
That's really nice. I think that's so unique to this game for me. Like,
Right.
you're not gonna have Mark Rosewater walking around in a Magic
And
event.
and to like branch off of that, I hope that continues.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
I hope that the devs continue to have that hands-on approach when this game inevitably grows the way we've been seeing it grow. Like
Right.
I don't want, I understand how difficult that might be, but like if they can can balance that like hands-on, everyone like I'm here, I'm present, I hear you type of approach to the game, I think this game it has just infinite possibilities.
Yeah, it comes from such a place of passion, right?
Right.
It's very clear that the whole dev team is very passionate about the game. Where even in 1996, you weren't going to see Richard Garfield walking around a Magic event because as soon as he created Magic, it feels like he sort of like washed his hands. So he's like,
Right.
I made this cool game, anyways. I'm going to go make a board game now.
Yeah, true.
Where there's such a dedication from the Weebs team to the game, which is super awesome.
Yeah, I think it's one of the main driving forces that keeps me in this game. Besides like how much I love the game and how much I like spending time with my friends and stuff, but the fact that the devs are so ingrained just in the gameplay and in the community just feels so good.
Yeah, and when we get Universes Beyond, Jujutsu Kaisen or whatever in 10 years, we'll be complaining about that and quitting the game. So, we'll take what we can get while we're here,
Right.
and then
Jesus.
eventually corruption touches everything.
All right, we're replacing Cam with Trevor, with Trenton.
On camera? You're
Yeah.
going to do him like that?
Yeah.
What is wrong with people, Trenton? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Hey, it's
justice
lack
for
of
Trenton.
caffeine.
# justice for Trenton. You get that trending.
Cancel Steve. That's it.
Yeah, Steve is canceled for sure. So the last thing we have to talk about before we leave for the afternoon is next week. Wow, geez.
Yep. It is.
7 days from today,
Yep.
we will be on a plane to sunny 80 degrees, 95 degrees, Houston, Texas, for North American Nationals. Are you guys excited for North American Nationals?
I am something.
Mm-hmm.
I need testing.
Yeah,
my-
you do.
All my friends have been sick, so I haven't been able to test.
Oh, don't give me that bullshit. We've been testing for weeks. I feel like I've played hundreds of games in this format.
Huh?
You got to come down here and play
It's
some,
true.
some
How-
Gark, dude.
How am I supposed to Gark when I have no way to get down here?
I want you to teleport, okay? I want you to fly.
We walk the 5 miles. No,
And
thank you.
It's
I
only
would
5 miles. You
walk.
could just text me. I'll drive you over here.
It's fine.
Surely.
It's
Sure.
fine.
He
Yeah,
lives
like-
in town, Trenton.
It's fine.
It's
fine.
fine.
You think that Trevor wouldn't come pick you up? He doesn't. The man drives an hour here every time he's here. I guess Trenton
So do
does
I,
too.
yeah.
But like
It's fine. We're fine. I will be.
yeah, you
doing-
got to get some practice. We'll do that
Yeah.
today. We got
Yeah.
got plenty of
I'm
practice for
gonna
you.
I have both my decks. They're all ready. The only thing that needs to pop out is ring. Ring goes in between the 2 decks because I sold my second
You
one.
finally got me a ring.
Well, we're not supposed to tell anyone. We're getting married in Vegas for the benefits.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
the Taco Bell Cantina wedding,
Yeah.
dude. They got those alcoholic Baja Blasts. I'm, having a great time. Something I guess I haven't said on the internet is I have failed in my New Year's resolution to day 2 nationals playing Arisana. Because I will not be playing in nationals. I will be doing coverage. I'll be on your commentary team for North American Nationals. So you'll see this ugly mug on your TV talking about Trevor here and how well he's doing in the tournament.
There's too many TR names. Too many TR names. Trenton, day 2, and I'm gonna get 33rd.
33rd, huh? That's the one. The final knot cut off to day 2. Perfect. I will be rooting for you in your winning in that you lose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be down there doing coverage. These boys, of course, will be winning the tournament. We're going down with some other friends as well. So it should be a good time aside from it being 95 degrees. But we can't say anything about what anyone's playing because they're either undecided or keeping secrets. aside from Trent
I
saying
told you what I'm
exactly
playing.
what he's
Yeah.
playing. There's your scouting for the tournament. Trenton is going to be playing Sylvie, of course.
I'm going to be playing Cam's Arisana deck.
Ooh, I got a spicy
that-
one.
that's
I got
cool.
a spicy one. So you're welcome.
I'm going to
take
play
her.
Cam's Arisana deck. And
She's broken. I finally cracked the code
is it
just
the,
in time to
is it-
not play.
Is it the one
No
that we were
way.
playing?
Mhm.
You're gonna play against me today. I want to see that.
I cracked the
Is it the
code.
one that you played against me with?
I don't know, dude. They all blur together.
There's too many.
I've played too many Arisana decks. You guys should see my shot at your decks. It's just like hundreds,
Oh, now?
hundreds
Just like
of
scroll
Arisana
down,
decks.
just scroll
Right,
down.
right
The
after
ravings of
right
a
after
madman.
ALC came out, Cam sent us a screenshot of his shout at your decks, and it was just 7 Arisana lists.
Yeah, it's only gotten worse. It's like that scene of Charlie and Always Sunny with the whiteboard at the
Pepe
post
Sylvia?
office. Yeah. Carol. Yeah,
I went
that's
up,
me.
Carol.
Yeah, that's me. Except brewing these cursed bad cleric decks. Yeah. I think that's it. Anything else you guys want to cover before we leave for another 6 weeks?
No, I think
No.
we covered everything.
Well, we will thank you guys for watching. We will not be here next Friday, as next Friday we will be on a plane to Houston. I am sadly not bringing the podcast set up, so we will not be filming while we're down there. We will only be winning, but make sure that you check out coverage. It's going to be on the official Grand Archive TCG YouTube channel. So you
Come
can-
over,
you can
say
check
hi
out
to
that.
us. Please not during matches, but
Yeah, if you're at the event, Steven will sign your chest. So
yeah.
we'll have Sharpies on hand.
Yeah. I'll bring a box of Sharpies of all different colors, so you can pick your color.
Yeah. Whatever you think matches best, and then we will go together to the tattoo parlor to get it permanent. It'll be great. It'll be a great
it's
time.
fine. I was just gonna say nothing. Go
How about
ahead.
you? How about you take us out, Steve?
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We will be back in 2 weeks,
Unless somebody's sick or
unless someone's sick or
a
Cam
meteor
decides that he
hits the
doesn't want to
store.
go.
Hey, I won't be dragged like this. That has never happened. That has never once happened. All right. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
We'll
Have a
see you
good one.
later. Goodbye.
Bye.